So my name is Shahid Azim. I'm the chairman of Arcom IT. We are an IT company based in Woking, been established since 1997. We position ourselves as either the IT department of companies or an extension to existing IT departments of companies. We offer 24/7 IT support, from infrastructures to telecoms to cybersecurities, and document management. So yeah, we've been around for nearly 20 odd years, 25, 27 years.
Thanks for coming on these videos. It's really great to be able to talk about cybersecurity and how vital it is for businesses. How do you approach small businesses and tackle the huge amount that can come under cybersecurity?
Lucy, that's a really good question. How do you describe cybersecurity? So one of the things when we go out to companies, and we've got some clients who will say, I want to make sure that I don't have any security issues, nobody can ever hack in. And our answer to them then is that if you want to do that, don't have internet connections into the building. You've got to be isolated, no connection to the world. So you can do much as you want, but if somebody wants to crack it into your system, they can do, because people have cracked into NASA and or US government departments. So if somebody wants to get in there, they'll do that. However, it's also very important as an organization that you do much as possible to protect your environment. And I would say when you're trying to protect your environment, I would use the same scenarios as your home. So at your house, you obviously have doors, you have locks, you have fire alarms, you might have monitoring, remote monitoring, it comes in. And once you get into the house, you might have safe where you keep valuables. So the same scenario actually applies into your data environment. Again, it's making sure that one, your staff are trained to understand how people are trying to take the identity over, or they're trying to get into the system via passwords and lock your systems, and then they'll ask for ransom to give you passwords back. Then there might be areas where they got hackers just want to come in, just one that they might want to come in just because they think it's a good wheeze, and they do it. But then there's malicious hackers that want to come in and steal your data to do something with the data. And the other area is actually, inadvertently, is staff. Is actually sometimes they might send an email to somebody and send the wrong attachment to somebody else. So there's elements of training. So same thing applies. If you got your home, as I said, you got the doors and locks and that, you got safe. It's how do you protect that? Yeah. In the office environment, again, you've got to do much as possible to stop people hacking in. And the way you do that is obviously there's different types of passwords. Yeah. Instead of just having a normal password that you don't change, have 3 random words that you put in there, or you got if you got your password to log into one bit, that you might have another factor that you can actually have an app that sends another password to the app that you type in, they can get in. So so you got those things area. Then you might want to deploy through your IT companies. I'm sorry, you're going to be salesmen if you want to use Arcom IT. So, deploy Cyber Essential as a system. So there's a whole, when you talk about Cyber Essential, we'll go through all your policies, we'll look at your infrastructure, we'll do the survey, and then we'll find all the faults, and then we'll patch those in with your IT people, and then you get certified by independent people, not myself, because we can't be the judge and jury. So independent person will come and they'll certify it, and then you can put that logo onto your website, and that gives you extra benefit as a business. That one, it gives potential hackers that you thought about it. Yeah. The second thing you got there is that you got corporates and government departments. They look at your website and say, actually, they're taking cyber security very seriously because they're worried about compromising. If they're linking with you, compromises their side. So again, there's opportunity to win businesses. So there's a number of things, but the most important thing is this training and make sure you got that.
Yeah, you almost want to be creating those multiple layers. It's not just creating a password and writing it down somewhere safe. It's creating multiple different layers, so in case someone gets into that first layer, they can't get through the second or third. It's having those in place.
Yes. So it's like again, if I use the same as a door, normally there's a normal lock. You can just push it open. But if you use a big, I don't know if it's a commercial or not, but a Chubb lock with different whatever the setting is, if you lock that, you're preventing people coming in there. So the same thing applies at home. The other thing that's really people need to obviously aware about is since COVID, there's been lots of remote, so we're now working hybrid system, remote working. So when we talk about remote working, people got their internet at home, might have Wi-Fi there, the children got it, their girlfriends or boyfriends got it, the neighbour might have it, and at home you probably don't have a firewall that protects it. So again, it's making sure now you actually not doing your personal stuff, you're actually playing with your company data. So again, you've got to make sure that you put the process and procedures and the systems at home to lock down anybody hacking coming through your house or through your internet into your corporate environment.
Yeah, and is there any kind of quick things or like low-level things that businesses can do instantly that would help that working from home and that hybrid aspect of the security?
I think at home, look, I definitely think because you've got company data. Now, the question you've got to really ask is that sometimes are they using their personal PCs to connect into the company network? So again, because you've got personal, you've got more chance of getting viruses on there. So making sure, because that's your way to infect your corporate data. So it's actually making sure, and what policy the company has. Do the company provide you with your own IT system and nobody else touches it? It's locked down, it's your standard system. Some people are allowed to use even your mobile phones, people use it for your, sort of emails and that. So again, I think it's making sure at home you've got the password secure, making sure that it's not passed to every Tom, Dick and Harry. And more importantly then again is that you've got firewall protections in there. And then the other thing that people don't realise is that when they're now doing Zoom calls at home, right, and how you like it or not, people like to show off their background and whatever they got on the mantelpiece, and you don't know who's watching, right? So always trying to either blur the screen so you don't know what's in the background, otherwise remove those things out there, because you're broadcasting it to, and you don't know who's watching and how the information gets passed. So it's little things like that you need to have in there, but certainly at home, definitely get firewalls in there. Make sure you've got proper password policies in there, making sure that you don't just give this password to anybody else, and then really making sure again who uses it and how you put data onto that computer before you've got to virus check it before it gets in there. So it's policies like that. But from a company point of view, our policies, this is a company laptop, it's so useful. It's almost locked down for that, and you can't add more to it.
So the majority of businesses in Woking are micro or small businesses that might not necessarily be working off of laptops, but will have technology that they use. How can they protect themselves?
So how do you mean, if they don't have laptops at home or at work?
At work, so say it's a florist, for example, that is using technology to get emails or to process orders.
So again, they would either will have either an iPad or a PC that would link into their banking system, where they take credit card payments or takes orders from websites. Again, the same policy applies to them. Whether you have 1,000 computers or whether you have one computer, you've got to make sure you have policies. things like if you've got Windows operating, you're making sure that because Microsoft will find that they're going to release some patches because they found some fault or vulnerability on one of the packages. And they'll release you a patch. It's making sure you update those patches. Because you'll get them through Windows. Make sure your Windows are updated to the certain standards. Again, you will have antivirus products on there. Again, ensuring that you make sure you've got the latest versions of antivirus, make sure it's updated, make sure you do all virus checks much as possible. And if somebody gives you any USB sticks for data or anything like that, again, make sure you check those and make sure that you virus check them before you put them onto your system. But again, I think even if you're a one PC or one-man band, the policy still applies that. Make sure you've got firewalls in place, because once somebody can get into your system, they have access to what is your data and your information.
Yeah. So what can businesses do, or is there any support that Arcom offer through Working Works that can give them access to this level of support that you're talking about?
So we're passionate about Woking, and we're passionate about Woking business community, and and our target audience is Woking. So one of the things that we can actually offer is a free health check. I get one of our technical guys out there and go and see the systems and see how, look at some of the policies, what they're doing. So part of the process we could do is actually, half a day free health check. Yeah. And obviously we just got to qualify what the companies are, but I think most of them we would be able to offer a free health check certainly on security, and even give them advice on that.
Great. And what typically would be included in that health check?
So we'll go in there and we check what sort of servers they've got running in there, what's the latest sort of patches they have there, what's the latest firewall they have there, and what security have they got from the internet coming in. Again, so it's things like basic health checks that actually at least they thought about it, rather than it's like having a car that you don't actually never keep it maintained, or it'll go on, but sooner or later something's going to happen.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining me today to talk about cybersecurity and what you offer through Working Works.
Thank you.
If you want to find out more about cybersecurity and how Arcom IT can help you, then you can go to the Working Works website, go to the About section, and you can contact them directly in order to book one of the health checks.